Well, we just made a little turn down at Nutt, N-U-T-T, New Mexico. Nutt, New Mexico is in Luna County. We call it Lunatic County. So you could be a nut in Lunatic County. And you probably see the little house and stuff on the corner. And that's Nutt, New Mexico. Over behind me is a large solar panel array. And my GoPro just shut off, like these damn GoPros are always doing. Anyway, that was the solar panel array. And we're stopped at a little kiosk here that tells about this valley. Lake Valley National Backcountry Byway. We've got the Himalayan out here on our trip, our first big trip. This will be about 160 miles today, and we'll make it in probably about 3 hours. We'll be going from here up to Hillsboro, and then through the mountain range and down into Mimbres, New Mexico, and then back to Deming. Okay, let's get this show on the road. Kiosk along the road, a pyramid kiosk, and we're on our way toward Hillsboro. And this is a little memorial to the Mormon Battalion. It says, Mormon Battalion Historical Marker. History may be searched in vain for an equal march of infantry, Lieutenant Colonel Cook. The Mormon Battalion of some 500 men marched through this area during November of 1846. The march covered over 2,000 miles from Council Bluffs, Iowa to San Diego, California. Dedicated March 2nd, 1988. This is the old ghost town of Lake Valley, and of course we got here on a day that is closed. That's the second time I've been here, and I've always gotten here on a day it's closed. Today is Wednesday, but if you come up here Thursday through Monday, you can get in to see the historic district. That looks like an old schoolhouse over yonder, and I'm not sure what all the rest of these are. We'll have to come back another day. This has got a there's the old conical sign. A lot of mining went on here in this area. Hit its peak of silver ore between 1881 and 1885. Well, I thought this was a gold mining area. This was all silver. There are no surviving examples of Lake Valley's commercial architecture. This is due in part to a fire in June of 1895 which destroyed Main Street. There was a short-lived revival of Lake Valley beginning in 1917 when manganese ore was mined. The adobe chapel, originally a home, was built in this era. The schoolhouse, originally constructed in 1904, was rebuilt and expanded. Other than these buildings, very little new construction occurred after the initial construction period in the early 1880s. After the train tracks were taken up in 1934, many buildings were dismantled and the materials were salvaged for use elsewhere. Covers the east end of town. We'll turn around and go back to the west end. Until just a few years ago, there used to be a big apple festival once a year over here that we like to come to. But then they had a big drought, and they don't they had a big drought and they don't produce the apples they used to produce, and the state got after them for creating so much traffic along the highway in this town. So they have quit doing the big apple festival. Well, that's all of Hillsboro. Well, so as not to let this beautiful old historic town go to waste, we'll see if we can get away with eating our lunch on this patio here. The Black Range Vineyards Wine and Beer Place is closed, the sign says. Hours are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so maybe they won't care if I eat my lunch here. Well, we're gonna set up lunch right here. Hillsboro was a ghost town. And now, like most ghost towns, it's been revived by, most of these were revived by hippies. And as they are dying off, their family and other people with more money have come into the area and bought up the old buildings and tried to run a San Francisco, California type of little businesses, artsy-fartsy people. So it's a beautiful day. It's in the low to mid 70s. Great day for a ride. Here's to you. Looks like they're going to replace this bridge. Here we're getting near the top of the mountain. In a little while we'll start back down the mountain into Mimbres, New Mexico. What a panoramic view from up here. Okay, now we're starting our descent back down off the mountain into Mimbres, New Mexico. It's all downhill from here on out. And we have a nice babbling brook by this little campground picnic area in the Gila wilderness. But it's so hard to sleep with that brook babbling all night. Well, it's time for a restroom break. We're in one of the many campgrounds and picnic areas in the Gila National Forest in New Mexico. And there's my new Himalaya sitting over there by the restrooms. And we've got a nice picnic table here to have a cold drink and relax a little bit. I just rolled over the first 500 miles on my new bike, and so far everything's working good. It did very good going up through the mountains, which most of the road up through there was third gear, 30 mile an hour, 10 mile an hour curves, which I would take at 30 and almost drag the foot pegs. But it really lays over nice in the corners. This has got to be New Mexico's very best motorcycle road. This is just twisty mountain roads up one side and down the other, and it's just absolutely gorgeous up here. So I hope you enjoyed this ride. Our next stop will be Mimbres, New Mexico, and then down the river road back to Deming. So that's a pretty ride also. Anyway, catch you later. I thought you might like to see the little tripod that I carry in the bags on my motorcycle. It's very small. The legs fold out. See if I can do this one-handed, like this. And if you twist it like this, it unlocks it so it pulls out. And it makes it fairly tall. If you need more stabilization, the legs will fold out further, like that, to make it more stable. It comes with a GoPro top or a phone top. You can also use it for a selfie stick. And you can find these, a lot of different ones just like it on Amazon. That's where I got this one. And it collapses down to about 10 inches, so you can put it in any motorcycle bag. Works really well. Yes, there's an old church here in Mimbres, or this is San Lorenzo, New Mexico, just on the edge of Mimbres. And we'll get a picture of this old church. Wonder how old that is. No markings. Sometimes they have it carved in stone what year it was built. Well, let's continue on over to Mimbres after we go up this road a little further and see the rest of San Lorenzo. Here's the little restaurant we used to like to come over here to eat at. Looks like it might be closed. Nope, door's open. Another 50 miles to go.